less than 2 months until the end of 2023. And this is our top games of October 2023.
Yes, we're 10 months down. This will bring us to 50 games each. Yeah, 50 games each. Yeah, 50 games each. That we multiplying by 10 is hard.
It's really hard considering we've been playing games and stuff.
That's true. So this is October. As usual, these are new to us games from October, the ones that really tickled our fancy. Not necessarily new to the world, and in some cases we've done commissioned work on some of these, but this is an opinion video. No connection with those.
Correct, and a few of these might be from Essen Spiel because Essen has just passed and Gen Con.
Yes.
And hello everyone, I'm Stella and this is Tarrant from Meeple University, and here are our games. Sitting at number 5, this is my number 5 on the list of my top game, and so does Tarrant. We're sharing our number 5.
Shared number 5, Planta Nubo. So
this is by the Game Builders, and this is Essen release 2023.
Yeah, so what I like here is that it has an interesting worker placement mechanism. You can block other people out from the optimal options, but it's not going to ruin everything, but it's still got some blocking element to it, which is nice. And then you've got a lot of different ways that you can build up your board and play it through. A lot of it is optimizing your personal circumstances, but then there's a lot of end game cards that you can go and chase, and that you want to take the time to go and chase as well. So I think it fits together into something that takes a bit of learning, but is good fun to play and is a good challenge. Yeah,
love it. We do have the how to play video for this, which I will link below. If we have any other videos for this game, we will link down below. I love the theme. It's renewable energy, so you're collecting the things that you can do to help for the renewable energy. It has that polyomino, but it's pieces, but it's not too bad. I always struggle in my head to rotate, but this is not too bad. There's a few other things that you can achieve on placing that, or other things as well that you can focus on. And I love the engine building element. Love. You're getting the cards to make your board more powerful. So there's a mechanic that you can go get your tokens to move around, and the more you have around your board means that you can build more engine, but also the slower you get. I love that mechanics when you go around, like, oh, do you want to go fast or not? You want to try to activate as many things as possible once you build the engine on the outside of your player board, but then it goes slower because then you have a lot to activate. So you gotta have to build the engine as well, sorry Tarrant, to actually go around faster, and that's just amazing.
Yeah, I think that element is very clever as well. You've essentially got two different types of points, and one of them is just the raw points, and the other one is points to do laps of your own player board, and you can really kind of build up whatever engine you want.
Yes, not just engine building, it's also end of game scoring. And the second thing that I love about it is that how the card draft that is available for everyone, but there are more engine build card available to draft, and then as the round goes, there will be more end of game points cards to draft, and that's really great. I'm just like, oh, perfect. And this game is by Uwe Rosenberg and Ode and Mike. Thank you. So that is Planta Nubo. My number 4 is Orion Duel. I first played this at Essen Spiel. It was demoed to me. I played a little bit, and we have been playing this also on Board Game Arena. So this is an abstract duel game, which is, the rules is really simple. Here we go. So there's a common board, and then there's your tile and an opponent's tile, and you need to connect to win. You either need to connect your tiles from one side to another, your color tile, and you notice that your color tile, you only have certain ones with your color, the other ones has got opponent's color as well, although yours is majority. You try to connect from one side to another to win, or to connect all of the galaxy spirally thing with your color.
Yeah, or connect 4 of them.
4 of them, or connect 4 of the black holes to opponent's color.
Yeah, 3. So you
3, yes.
You can try to sink your opponent into 3 black holes, or connect 4 galaxies for yourself.
And that's it. That's how you win.
Yes.
It's really fun. Just keep playing again on Board Game Arena, or play it here. And this is just like, this what makes a great two-player game. Simple rules, it's just many possibilities to win. That's it.
Yes, and a randomized setup with where the galaxies and black holes can go. So
Correct,
you've got to
correct.
play to the landscape.
So this is great. So I really highly recommend it. I believe this is the deluxe edition of the game as well. So.
All right, my number 4 is a game that is... It's quite a couple years old, I think. 2021.
They're still releasing the new expansions, though.
And it's the G.I. Joe deck building game. And it's a cooperative deck building game. And I think what stood out to me is that I enjoyed it. And it's a cooperative deck building game. Because generally speaking, I don't go for that style of game. I find the way cooperative deck builders can work very swingy. And it's kind of inherent in the way that cards and the draw works. And it's odd to say that because this is even swingier because there's both cards and dice. But it's really well paced. That was what struck me, is that you are going through 9 cards in each scenario. And whether you pass or fail against it is going to have consequences, but it's not going to stop you from advancing. But it's paced so that, unless things go horribly wrong, you're quite likely to get through to at least the last stages. So you know you're going to have a meaningful experience, and you know that things might get extremely hard as you get towards the end and it might all collapse. But it's really cleverly paced that way.
Yeah, it's very challenging. And I know that you like difficult to beat cooperative game.
You don't want to beat a co-op the first time.
That's right.
You play it.
Yeah.
Tells you just set it aside and move on. But this is clever. You get random cards that you don't expect that are going to make things tough. You're trying to build up an engine of G.I. Joe characters and then tactics cards and re-rolls and
you're trying to combo the best
vehicles that you can use theoretically. So there's a lot that's packed into this that is really clever, and I think it should always make for a good gaming experience.
It's nothing to do with the IP. Tarrant's not big on G.I. Joe.
No,
that tells you something.
I mean, I'd never really heard. It was never an IP that was very big in Australia until the Hollywood movies recently.
Okay, I do enjoy the movies. There, G.I. Joe. I really enjoyed it as well. It's a nice cooperative and tough to beat. Really, really, those dice rolls.
They can be extremely frustrating.
Yes, but it's in a good way. My number 3 is 3,000 Scoundrels. And yes, this is not new for a lot of people, but this is new to us, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's quite different, isn't it?
Yeah, so it is an engine build, which I love about it, and with a little bit of bluffing. So if you are too ginger when it comes to bluffing, it's okay. It's still safe, and it's easy to put a poker face. I mean, it's like Western poker face. Anyways, and the new expansion is coming. So at the time of filming this video, it's still embargoed, but I can just quickly see what it looks like. 3,000 Scoundrels, Double or Nothing. So we'll have video of the playthrough of this coming up on the Dice Tower channel, but I don't want to talk about it just in case we released it before the embargo lifted.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that aside. And what I love about 3,000 Scoundrels is they are 3,000 Scoundrels. In this game, you craft your own cards. So it comes in transparent, it's got a card sleeve, and you put it together, and it can make a combination of up to 3,000 different potential engine building. And they're also like, oh my god, there's like so many replayabilities, so many things that you can do. The game is based on Traveller the movie, and this is about in the West, where there's the Traveller came and there are technology that dropped in, and then we use the technology and keep in the safe.
Yeah, I think it's very clever as a different gateway, right? It's a very quick game, and every turn you take is quite impactful, and there's a wide range of different things you can do, and that keeps it quite vibrant, I think.
Yes, there are, obviously you can gain money, you need money to buy the Scoundrels, and once you put in Tableau, you can activate it whenever usually certain things happen, like when you put your card on certain slots. So there's like 1 to 6 slot, and then whenever you activate that particular slot, that relates to that scoundrel, and you gain the bonus of the engine build. And you can also, if you think that other players not playing the right card on the right slot, let's say if you think Tarrant played number 5 card on number 1 slot, and I can put my henchman, and it's not, that's not the right card on the right slot. So at the end of the round, it's revealed, and you either, you don't lose points if you don't, if the bluff is not right, and then my henchman goes to jail.
But at the same time, you could just do that because you've got things that trigger from having done one of those effects.
Yes.
And I think that's what keeps it very clever and has so many, again, not many turns, but very impactful ones.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is that almost any one of the different actions you can take could trigger a scoundrel and give you some different reason for doing something. You're not going to use the same strategy every time.
And there is no memory element to it, which I don't remember. So you would, there's an action that lets you scout save, so you just look at the face down save and then you put it back, but you can always look at it later again if you forget, and that's could combo each other to gain points. Very fun game. 3,000 Scoundrels. The Kickstarter's coming out with the expansion, so check that one out as well.
My number 3 is a game that we don't own, but we have played at a meetup, and that is from a year or two ago, I think, dexterity game called Hamster Roller.
It is in our Amazon shopping cart. Thank you very much.
Yes, so this is, you may have seen this one. It is a lovely wooden piece. It's got a wheel with a bunch of notches inside, and the aim of the game, it's very abstract. You're placing your pieces on the leading edge side of the wheel, and you're trying to place them so that things don't fall off the other side of the wheel. And if anything falls off, you take those pieces, and it's the first one to get rid of all their pieces wins. And I think what I like about it is when it comes to dexterity, it's one thing I've realized, because we had an event this month where we played a whole lot of dexterity games. And I realized the ones which I find the most fun are not the Jenga types of ones where you are trying to make something balance. There's a lot of tension in people standing around watching someone try to make something balance. But I like the ones which have a bit more speed and pace to them. I always really enjoyed Drop It. I've always thought that was it's a dexterity or a physical type of game, which was really clever. And I found Hamster Roll met that pace as well. You could very quickly put things down, and it would have the tension, but it wouldn't be 2 minutes of watching someone trying to balance something very carefully. So I think that was what worked really nicely about it.
That's fair enough. It's a really fun game. It's really quick, and there's also this element where you can actually take the piece so that everything doesn't fall. You just want to get rid of all your pieces. You didn't do that well in one of the games, and you ended up with lots of pieces that you're trying to hide in the photo. Yeah,
the first my first game, I seem to make it tumble every time, but that's fine. That's all part of the fun. Number 2 for me is an overlap with Stella's number 4, so that's Orion Duel. I just like that Duel is written in a square here as well. I think that's really clever. Really cute, sorry. The game is clever. I think anyone who has watched me do these ones knows that I love a good simple 2-player asymmetric that only needs to have 3 or 4 rules, but enough bits of depth. And this really hits that.
Yes.
And the reason it hits it is, we didn't mention it the first time around, but you can't just go joining up galaxies and black holes. You can only cover one of those if you're already adjacent to it.
Yes.
So it's this careful play of trying to set yourself up to avoid the black holes or avoid easy ways where the other player can start to link you to those black holes. So you just have to there's enough dimensions there that you have to think about that makes it really good that way. You've got those limited tiles, so occasionally you can place a tile where you don't place the opponent's colour, but often that's not possible. And that adds plenty of depth to a very simple rule set, and that's what I always like out of a 2-player asymmetrical. So Orion Duel, very clever game.
Check it on BGA as well. It's available for everyone's. I don't know if this is the premium bit or not, but it's so easy to play it there as well. So we played multiple times on top of the board games. Then there's the board game arena. My number 2 is Kutna The City of Silver, another Essen Spiel release. This game is fun. It's economic. It's probably like 80% of it is economic. I love the economic part of it. I love the components, which is made on recycle. Things like it's mixed between wood and plastic, and there's a lot of interaction, and it's simply driven by card play. So you play cards, trigger your action, and then that would change a lot of things. I always love games like that where the action is simple. It's not like a million type of actions, but just do this, and you have a bunch of cards in your hand, and each action has got 2 different sides, so you can like flip it upside down and so on, and then you choose one of the 2 actions. So that means that abandoning the second action, but each action has got like a double as well in your set of cards, so you have to really maximize your turn, plan your turn ahead that turn. So first turn you play 2 cards, and then opponent, and back to you 2 cards again, and then last one is 1 card, and you left with 1 card that you don't play in that turn. And at the end of the turn you pick up all the cards and play it again. So many things I want to love that I love about this. Check out our review as well if you like.
We do have a full review.
Yes, we have a full review for this one, and that economic is quite clever, where the price of things can go up and down. Usually, actually, no, it's usually up.
The price of things goes up and down,
yes,
in an interlocking kind of way.
Yeah.
Because if you increase the price of ore, it will decrease the price of silver, and vice versa. And as you do things that's going to increase the population, that's going to increase demand and make all the consumer goods more expensive.
Yeah.
It's clever the way that all links together.
You can build buildings, you earn points, and get links together with the building mine. Obviously, a mining city. You're developing that mining city, and there's also you have to buy the right first, to the building, and put the plot in, and then build the building. And there's also reputation that you need to look after. You make sure you can pay taxes. So many things that is in there. It's not that actually hard though. Like maybe I just saying there's so many things, but they're all kind of like interlocking each other. And not everyone has got rights to build certain buildings. So at the start of the game, you draft as well. You only have 3 types of buildings. One other person maybe might have the same type of buildings, but those people with building would control the economic of that particular goods. That's really...
Yes, or they'll control the supply side.
The supply side, so
the
yeah.
demand side, you can still do things to interact it.
So yeah, check it out. It's a great game.
It is, and that is why it is my number one. Why it's my number 1 game for the month as well. And there's a couple reasons for that. And I think the thing that stands out the most is that it is so interactive between the players. Everything is going to impact another player. There's a common tile placement thing where you're trying to match your buildings with adjacent buildings. There's another tile placement that has an area control type of thing about it. As tiles get put down and as the economy changes, certain things are going to get more or less expensive. And all of that is driven by what the players do. There's very little that you can do by yourself that is going to score things without letting other players score it or giving them the opportunity. And I just find that is so rare, because there is there are so many games these days which most of it is a very individual kind of puzzle. You've got pretty much agency to go and do whatever you want without a lot of interference. In this case, you can do whatever you want, but how much it's going to impact the scores is so tightly woven together. And that's one thing I really enjoy about it. And I think it is clever. The timing element is clever, and the way it hits that thing which, you look back at Brass and realize that the cleverest thing about Brass was that you can do 2 actions, because everything is so timed. That opportunity to do something is so timed. And so the fact that you can do 2 actions on most of your turns means that if you need to chain 2 actions together, you have that chance. And if you don't take that chance, you're going to give that opportunity to your opponents. And it was such a clever thing that Brass did, which we don't see that often. Brass also has it then impacts turn order, which is a further layer to that, which Good Horror doesn't have. But that's fine. I think the way it links all of those things together makes for a game that is simple enough, but has to be permanently replayable because it will always depend on what your opponents do. You cannot solve this game.
No, you cannot. There's so many things where you can... I mean, it's not like 3,000 Scoundrels with lots of engine build, but just combination, what people do, which is great. And my number one game is Path of Civilization, the game that I almost didn't get at Essen. Didn't even make my most anticipated Essen list, but a few people recommended this to me. And despite of the size of the box, this game is actually not that complex and not that long to play.
It's not strictly track advancement, but it feels like a very track advancement sort of civilization game. You've got pretty simple choices for which side you're going to target. And as you build it up, you make yourself stronger. You try to optimize one versus the other and then chase competitive objectives and point scoring things at the end of each round. So
again, it's simple. At the start of your turn, you have 5 cards. You play 4 of them. On which side, it's up to you, which depending on what resource you're trying to get that round. And then 1 is to discard away from the game. It's represent like civilization. This is ancient civilization. You just put away part of your past, and then you get resources. And then from there on, so there are 9 or 10 rounds? Hang on.
There are 9 rounds.
9 rounds, sorry. And then it's all laid out on the cards in front of you. We do have how to play this one as well, though. Check it out. Last year, Rise is one of my top games of the year. Now, this has got sort of track advancement, similar feeling, but still different. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I certainly felt a bit of a Rise kind of thing because it was again, you're always just kind of choosing a track or a thing to advance in and then making a simple move towards that.
Yeah, and then you buy the next card as well with whatever resource you have. Then that's how you kind of okay, I really need to get this resource to get that. But to balance them all, you have to have enough population. Otherwise, so you have to put up your population track. Otherwise, you are unable to gain that resource. Yeah. So interlock with that, and then you get the resource. That means that the more resource you have, that means you can get a better card. Means that your actions even more powerful. You gain more resources and so on. That's just really fun. And then at certain time of the game, certain rounds, you get to resolve certain conflicts and mid-game objectives, which adds to the great layers of it. And I love the look of the layers of where they put the cards. You do have the sticker stuff, but that's great. That's fine.
Yeah, they have a good simple card tray system that is both functional for storage and the game.
Yes, and that's why probably the box is quite large, and they have fun games. So one thing that I have to mention, so I think almost all of the characters in the games are real, except there's one character that called Gil Bates. It's not Bill Gates, it's Gil Bates. And then in the compendium or the information about the character, I was like, oh yeah, if this person would have been different, they might have someone else that might have a successful computer company and so on. I was like, yeah, that's funny. It's like a deliberate, it's not a mistake. I was like, I was questioning it. I was like, it wasn't a mistake. It was it's Gil Bates, it's not Bill Gates. That's deliberate. Yes. That was really fun. So Path of Civilization, check this out. This is a really fun game. It's not, again, this is not as complex as it looks. It plays pretty quick, but it's satisfying to build your things and then trying to get leader, trying to get engine build, and then upgrade to the next leader, and then that leader might still have power when it's in the past.
Yeah, it's very much a civilization game that you can play in. You can play it in an hour with very quick decisions. Mm-hmm.
Yes, very quick decision indeed, because when you choose the card, everyone does it simultaneously. Forgot to mention that.
Yes.
And those are our top games. What are your top games? What games were you excited about and then you played? Was it that still exciting after you played? Did you play it? Did you get it from Essen or maybe Gen Con? And hopefully you have an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye.